So now we're going to learn the magic loop technique. Magic loop sounds fancy, but it's really not very fancy. It's a pretty simple technique. You'll need a circular needle that is at least 32 inches long, or 40 inches might be a little bit easier. This is 32 inches. And for any small circumference or the crown of your hat, you're going to need to do standard magic loop technique. This is the full body. You can do it for the full body or anything smaller. You're going to divide your stitches in half, and it doesn't have to be exactly half. There's no need to count your stitches, just approximately, fold it in half and pull a loop between two of the stitches. Just grab it between any two stitches and pull the cable. To pull a loop of the cable out between the stitches. And on the other side, push the left-hand needle in to knit. That's the side you're going to knit into. But pull the right-hand needle out. Now, because this is only 32 inches, I'm risking pulling this loop out, which I don't want to do. I want to keep this loop here, but also pull this out, so it's easier to kind of scrunch it up a bit. So what I want is to have two loops across from each other, two magic loops. So stick the needle in to knit the first stitch, like this. So the yarn is going across from the one side to the other, and pull it snug. And now I'm just knitting normally. So what I'm doing is I'm knitting straight across the first side, up from the one loop to the other loop. So I'm knitting half the stitches just straight across. I'm just going to do that right now. Okay, that was the last stitch on the left-hand needle up until the loop. So when I knit that stitch, the needle kind of flopped out here. So that used to be the loop, and now it's the needle. And now I have that loop on the other side, halfway across. So I'm just going to turn, keep that loop right there, where it is, and pull on it to stick this needle now into the stitches, the left-hand needle into the stitches, and pull the right-hand needle back out to make another loop. So once again, I have the two loops across from each other. And I just do the same thing, just knit across, straight across these stitches, the other half. So you just do half and the other half, and back and forth, and around. So that is magic loop with any circumference on long needles. Now, with a hat body like this, when it's as large as a hat, there's another method. So you can do something that I've heard called traveling loop, or half magic loop, or lazy loop. I don't know if these are all regional or just vary by person, but basically you don't have to do the full half and half back and forth. When it's as long as this, you can pull out that other loop, stick the left-hand needle in, pull out a loop for the right-hand needle, and just knit around with one loop only. So I'm going to show you how that works. Basically, you don't have to divide it by half, which I like a little better, but not everyone prefers this. A lot of people prefer a regular magic loop, especially if you have a longer needle. So try them both and see what you like better. So with this way, you pull the right-hand needle out, you leave that loop there, pull the yarn straight across, knit that first stitch, and then I'm just going to knit all the way around the entire round, all the way around. And you need to kind of slide the stitches around the needle as you go. So I'm just going to do the entire round right now, and you can see how that works. So now you see, as I'm working my way around, the loop is kind of traveling closer and closer to the end of the stitches, so it just traveled all the way around. So I'm just continuing to knit around. Now I'm on these last 3 stitches before the loop. And the final stitch. So there I have just this loose left needle now, because I made it all the way around. So now to knit the next round, I just knit 1 whole round. Now I pull the right hand needle out and push the left hand needle in. I'm ready for my next round. And with this method, what I like about this is you can make this the beginning of your round point, so you don't need a stitch marker. You might have other stitch markers, but this can always just be the beginning of your round, so that way you're just knitting 1 full round from beginning to end, and you always have that loop in the same place. But if you want the loop to be in different places, if you stop, sometimes you stop knitting somewhere else, and then you go like this to throw it in your bag, and then just start knitting there and put the loop there. So the loop doesn't have to stay in the same spot, it can just be anywhere. So that is magic loop / traveling loop, half magic loop, whatever you want to call it.